Hi, this is Alex Blue with J-Tech. Today we're going to be doing a minor inspection on this Peterbilt. Alright, so first we're going to start off at the front of the truck and we're going to work our way back. You're going to check your tread depths on your steer tires. Your steer tires should be 2/32. You should need to check your PSI to make sure it's aired up to the proper pressure, which can vary on where you're at in the country. You're going to want to check your bushings on your steering. Make sure, check the boots, make sure it's all good. You want to check your air lines to your brake chambers and make sure that they're not cracked, you don't see any dry rot or anything like that. Then you're going to come over to your chamber itself and you just want to look, make sure that you don't see any dents or cracks or anything like that, any damage to it. And I'm not going to do it for the video, but because it makes too much noise and it'll be hard to hear me. You're going to want to check and see, you're going to air the truck up, start it up, air the truck up, and you want to check and make sure you don't have any leaks actually coming from the chamber itself. You want to check, if you have this jacked up, you're going to check your wheel bearings, make sure you don't have any have too much play in them. You want to check your brake shoes, or linings, your drums, all that kind of stuff. Alright, then you're gonna we're gonna make our way back this way. You're gonna check, make sure that your grab bars are good, your steps are good, your inside here's your batteries. You check and see if you've got any cracks in them, if you see any leakage, corrosion. Clean the batteries if they need to be cleaned. Alright, then we're gonna come back here to the air dryer, and then again, when you go to air up the truck, you want to check to make sure that it's got that it's not leaking anywhere, you don't have any cracks in it, stuff like that. And then you're going to come over to your fuel tanks. You want to check the bands on them, make sure that they're not cracked, make sure you don't have any cracks in the welds or anything like that. You're going to keep working your way back here. You want to check the cab airbags, make sure that they don't have any dry rot, cracks, leaks, anything like that. We're going to check the semi-fin. You just want to make sure that you don't have any cracks in the insulation. Just check the whole thing. You want to check the insides. And then you're going to check glad hands. And what you want to do when you check the glad hands is you're inspecting the O-rings. You want to make sure that they're not spinning, they don't have any cracks in them, dry rot, stuff like that. It's normal rubber, so you just want to make sure that you don't have anything like that. Make sure it doesn't spin. That one's good. Alright, then we're going to work our way back here. You're going to check your ladder, make sure it's good. Make sure the catwalk's good. Alright, you're going to check fenders. Make sure your fenders aren't bent in. They're not going to cause any interference with the travel on the tires. Alright, so now we're going to go to your drive tires. Your drive tires are going to be at 4/32. And then again, you're going to adjust the pressure to where you're at. Different temperatures call for different pressures. You can check all of them. Check airbags, make sure there's no leaks in the airbags. If you were to start the truck up, you would raise and lower them, make sure that they're functioning and folding properly. You want to check your shocks, make sure you don't have any oil leakage or seepage or anything coming from the shock. Then you're going to check your fifth wheel, make sure your fifth wheel is greased properly. Check the spring on the fifth wheel. Alright, you're going to do the same thing that you did on that front drive axle. You're going to check shocks, airbags. You're going to check the mud flat. Make sure that it snaps back into place. Make sure you don't have any tears or anything on your mud flap anywhere. Check your lenses on your tail lights. Make sure that they're not cracked, broken, damaged, anything like that. Differential. Make sure there's no differential leaks. You're going to come over to this side. Do the same thing. Shocks, there's no oil. Airbags. You're also going to want to check for your wheel seals. Make sure your wheel seals aren't leaking, because if you have leakage on your wheel seals, then you have to replace the whole shoe for the drum brakes. You also want to check your slack adjusters, make sure that they're good. Make sure that the drag on your tires, if you lift it up, make sure the drag on your tires are good. You're going to inspect, just like the other side, you're going to inspect, they're going to measure the tread depth to see if they're at 430 seconds. Make sure they're at the right PSI. You're going to check the fender on this side, just like the other side. Make sure that it's not moving, it's not bent in, it's not bent out. Alright, so now we're going to come over here, do the same thing for this fuel tank. Make sure you don't have any cracks in the bands, in any of the welds. You don't see any puddles underneath it. You want to check the exhaust. Make sure you don't have any exhaust leaks. Check the grab bar over here. This is going to move because it's mounted to the shield on the stack. Check your steps. You're gonna check the mirrors, make sure that they're good, and then you're gonna do the same thing that you did on this steer axle as on the other side. You want to make sure you check your oil, your coolant, transmission fluid, all that good stuff. Check your tension on your belt. You don't want to hear, if you pull on the belt, you don't want the belt to pull too much out. You want it to be nice, and you want a little bit of slack in there, so that way you're not messing up any of the pulleys, but you also don't want it to be so loose that it's moving a whole bunch when you pull on it. That's going to check. And then as you have the truck running, you want to listen for squeaking, which could mean that you either have a bad water pump, a pulley on somewhere is bad, or it could just be the tensioner. Alright, so you're going to check the air filter. Make sure the air filter looks clean, doesn't have any debris in it, such as leaves, excessive amounts of dirt, pine needles, all that kind of stuff. And you just want to, if you've got the truck running, you just want to take some soapy water and spray all of your boots for your intercooler piping, and just check around it to make sure you don't have any air leaks. And then you also want to check your leaf springs and make sure you have no cracks in your leaf springs. Do that all the way around, forgot to mention that. And then you also want to make sure that you don't have any, if you want to look down here, make sure you don't have any coolant leaks. That's about it. Thank you for watching.